What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Half Deezy. Welcome to another episode of Smile Mah Podcast. Today, I got a special guest with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey guys, my name is Matty Flip. I'm with Eastman Records. I'm an artist manager and a video editor, audio engineer, pretty much do it all.
Hell yeah, man. And a longtime friend of mine.
Yes.
We decided to do this episode because I do want to have like a portion of the podcast where it's like I'm talking with other people about different topics and the things that I've been talking about throughout the week. Because really, the episodes that I do, they're short and they're really just to get to the point. Because I feel like so much of the shit that's on YouTube is a bunch of fucking fluff, clickbait. I mean, you name it. It's YouTube is just full of that shit. So I try to steer clear by just, whatever I do is just straight to the point.
Right. That's honestly, there's too much of that. Like, it's short attention span kind of content, man. So I mean, if you don't get straight to the point, you don't have a good hook to draw people in, then you're just gonna lose their attention. There's no need to make a half-hour video when it should be 5 or 10 minutes.
Right. Well, and then also another reason too is that a lot of these YouTubers, they do that clickbait shit where they'll be like, Lil Durk case, new evidence, recording wiretap of him admitting to murder.
All these trigger words, like
right, things that are just gonna get into the algorithm. We do our video. You already know how I am, man. I just do my videos just to stay consistent with it because I've been trying to be on that, but at the same time, like, I'd rather state the facts, and I try to include sources with my videos too. So if people want to research it themselves, or at least give them the source so they can go find the article themselves, because I'm really big on like reference and research, because a lot of these YouTubers, they don't do that, man. They don't even Google.
No, they see a headline and they're like, oh, people will click on that.
Right.
Like,
and right now there's a bunch of cases that are hot right now that at least I've been talking about recently, and that's the Diddy case, Lil Durk's case. I just finished up that episode on Kodak Black and Kais and that whole streaming thing that they did. So, well, I want to touch on a few of these subjects. We could talk about it a little bit. You can give your opinion as well, because I know you're in the music space, especially working with Eastman and Kanye East and Eastman Records and stuff. But like the biggest thing that came out today with Lil Durk's case. Apparently, they have everything they need in order to prosecute him for the murder for hire plot on Quando Rondo. There's been a lot of rumors going around talking about certain OTF members snitching, wearing wires, things of that. Now, I've done a ton of research on it. I haven't found anything. I do believe that if you go to the actual government website for federal indictments, it doesn't even mention wiretaps in there at all. But everybody that's coming out reporting on this case is saying there's wiretaps, there's this or that. Now, if these are, the way I see it is, if it's coming from an inside source, because I know some of these YouTubers have inside sources. Okay, granted, I can't contend with that. But if there's nothing out there that you can viably search for, I just, I have
it's available to the public. Yeah.
Right. And it because again, you're just filling up YouTube with nonsense and creating a whole nother narrative. And what I was saying in one of my past videos is like, you're saying certain so-and-so is snitching, and motherfuckers on the inside be reading, and they got phones and they could be on the internet. So essentially you're putting that person's life in danger now, who's locked up in there,
even while they're in prison, man. It's even more dangerous because they're all locked up in the same place, man, and
they got phones in prison. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, these people out here, they're like so and so snitching.
It's not like they don't have access to the rest of the world.
Right. And that's how they use to find out people's paperwork and stuff too, if they're not getting it handed to them on the inside, which a lot of times they have those connects. But I feel like with the YouTubers and the people in this space that are reporting are just kind of like, I feel like they're creating more problems that they may not even realize just by saying that, because one YouTuber sees it, the next one runs with it, and the next one runs with it, and the next one, and then if one of those YouTubers, like, they may do the research like myself, right? But just because they follow that other YouTuber, if they come with some misinformation, they'll trust it, and then run with that.
Well, if they keep hearing that same narrative from multiple different people, but you're the only person that's kind of staying away or non-biased to that narrative, then they're going to say, oh, well, all these other people said it. Why,
And then that becomes the truth. And then there's no actual facts to it whatsoever, or any kind of evidence.
It becomes diluted. Like you're just mixed in with the rest of it, and they're like, oh, well, this might be credible, like. But all these other people are saying this, and and they don't do their own research. They just go with the rest of whatever everybody else is saying. I've seen 10 people say this, then that's got to be what it is, right? I mean, even though we don't have, I'm not going to go do the evidence searching myself. That's why I came here to YouTube.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I strongly advise people, like, even if you trust the YouTuber that you're watching, you need to do your own research, period. Because I've even caught 100%. A couple of the YouTubers that I watch, who I would recommend people going and watching too. I've even caught them like, okay, dude, you know what I mean? You didn't do your research, but damn, it's kind of disappointing, but it's okay. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, he told a good story, right? Like, it was It was entertaining.
But yeah, dude, and the whole situation with Durk is just very unfortunate. I've been a long time Durk fan, and I've been, the night that King Von got killed, I actually was on his last live, like, watching him and stuff. It was right before the
Yeah, I remember you told me about that not too long ago.
Yeah, dude, which was crazy because, like, I don't know. It was just like he was on live, and then the next day, or shit, I was still awake, I believe. Yeah, because, I'm here in Vegas, and when that happened, it was only probably 11 or midnight here or something like that. And I was like, damn, dude, I just saw him on live.
Yeah.
And, but, obviously this whole case is stemming from that. And I feel like there's a lot of things with it that are kind of crazy because, in my opinion, from what we've seen, at least from the outside, is that Durk is, like, real careful, but in his raps, he may not be, right? But the way that they're saying that they caught him, or that he's involved, is because the people who were involved in the shooting, or actually did the shooting allegedly, used his credit cards for the record company. And then so that's how they're tying him. Now they say that there's text messages of him saying, like, if you're gonna be in LA, you don't mention me or whatever, which that's neither here nor there, because if I was in his position, knowing all the shit that he has from his past and hanging on him, of course, that's the first thing I would say, especially dealing with dudes from the streets that, you want to trust they're going to have good judgment, but you also know they're from the streets, and if opportunities present themselves, sometimes they go for those opportunities. So, of course, you're going to be like, look, man, don't do anything affiliated with me. But...
Right. Keep my name out of it.
Right, exactly. But they used his credit cards. So I feel like it was kind of a setup. You know what I'm saying? Because if he just told you, don't mention me, don't do anything affiliated to me, but you're getting a private flight under the label, you're booking everything under the label. Now, the other alleged thing is that Lil Durk was in LA the day that the murder happened, and he was the one who orchestrated everything. That's the alleged stuff from the case. Now, if he was there that day and he didn't have anything music related or like a really good alibi, I would say he's pretty much fucked. Now, if he does have a solid alibi, because again, he's in and out of LA, and he always, is, and a lot of people are like, how is he able to pay for all these private planes, all these private jets? Well, he's independent, and he gets like 62 million views on YouTube. He
doesn't have to go
per video.
Ask the label, hey, can I rent a private jet to go here? No,
right, right. So that should totally take out the whole conspiracy of where's he getting all this money from. He's independent, bro. Right. He's been independent for over 10 years now, and so you can't take that away from him. Now, again, them using the record label stuff, obviously if they're artists or they're employed by the record label, they're gonna have access to that. You know what I'm saying? Now the level is up to obviously Durk, the company, whoever's in charge of that, because I'm sure Durk isn't in charge of that. He's got people hired,
whoever's
right.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like it's a little too easy. And if that's the case, because again, we're just taking out the entire belief that maybe he did it in Revenge of King Von, right? We're just taking that out of the equation completely.
Right.
If they did that and saw the opportunity, again, I don't feel like he should be faulted for that, because technically you can't control motherfuckers. And the dudes were from the streets. Should there be some type of like liability? Maybe on a professional level, in a professional sense. Like, but I would see it as like manslaughter to some shit kind of like that. Now, it's going to be judged in California. So I guess he's waiting to be taken there to be arraigned. He's going to be transferred to LA. And that's where I think...
Where's he at right now?
He's in Miami-Dade or Dade County.
I was going to say Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to be transferred to LA. And now California, when it comes to their laws and how they be locking people up, bro, they don't fuck around. So that's where I think he's going to have the most challenge. But I feel like Cali is about money. Now, it is a federal case, so we'll see, but I don't know, bro. So that's basically the whole skinny of what's going on with Lil Durk. They're trying to pile on more charges, though, too, and they're hitting him with racketeering, conspiracy, murder for hire, all that stuff. But they're trying to connect him with those dudes that they picked up, because currently, right now, they have 5 people on that murder from OTF behind bars. So...
Damn.
Yeah.
That and it's almost like, so like for Durk, because he's the head of the record label, whatever, and he said, he may or may not have said, or allegedly said, don't go to LA, keep me out of your out of your mouth. If you're gonna go there, don't mention my name.
Right.
If he allegedly did say that, it's like it's almost like it's like Apple can sell you a phone, but they can't control what you do with it afterwards.
Right.
It's almost the same concept for me, in my opinion. It's you can't control people, man. Like you can't control people and what they're gonna do. So if they did that, unless there's proof, then there's like, again, like you said, there's all these people that say allegedly, that all these articles are saying they have new proof, they have these wiretaps. I don't believe it until I can actually go listen to those audio recordings, or if I can find a place online that's credible, that's from the government or wherever, there's a reliable source. It's hard to combat the misinformation on social media.
Yeah, dude.
People are just looking at the numbers, the little thumbs up button right next to that video or that picture, that article.
And that's the thing too, man. Like with what's been going on with Durk, again, it's like I feel like it's too easy to just be like, well, they used his thing and they did this and they did that and it's all underneath him, and it goes back again. Yeah. But you can't control him.
He could have been set up. Yep.
You know what I mean? Because the feds, see, and the feds are grimy. They could have implicated one of those dudes and turned him as an informant, because supposedly one of the guys out of that group is an informant. Turned him as an informant and told him, like, look, you have access to this, you got access to that. If you guys do this, blah blah blah, and you use this and that, we'll be able to nail them. Now, it's illegal for them to do that. But I'm not saying that it couldn't have been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's not. I mean, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing is I was just watching a video last night where the feds actually did have they had this phone company that was out there that they worked with the creator of the phone company, and it was basically a phone that was not traceable on any cellular provider. It connected to a specific server outside the country. It was a phone that was marketed for like people who do nefarious things, or rich people who don't want people knowing what they're doing,
Oh wow.
And the feds arrested the guy that created that, and there was another dude that created something similar, essentially, and they worked with him and paid him off, and all these people were using it for like drug transactions and stuff like that, and the feds had their own backdoor in it, and then they eventually gave access to local PD, and it was all like it was technically like illegal in the United States. They were doing this overseas for a while. The feds, the U.S. feds, were doing this overseas because they can't do that in the U.S., but they were doing it in the U.S., and they used somebody as a scapegoat to say, hey, this was part of this operation, and then they cleared the operation to be public. But yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. Nuts. See, and they can basically do whatever the hell they want.
This was in the 80s and 90s, I believe.
Yeah, so I could only imagine what they're capable of doing these days. I mean, they did have the whole MK Ultra. They were testing people with LSD and all that stuff. Like, we could get into a whole thing about it, but yeah, the whole point of that is that there could be some grimy stuff going on in the background, that is really questionable. Again, it's unfortunate for everybody involved, dude losing his life and all that stuff, and then Lil Durk going down, especially with all the people that he probably are eating because of him, and being behind bars isn't probably helping that situation. But I don't know, his legal team is in good hopes, so we'll see what happens.
That's good.
But now the other thing that we were talking about this week was the Diddy case.
Diddy.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
That's another one where the narrative is just all over the place. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like people are just trying to point the finger at famous people who had been to his parties and say automatically that they're involved, which I think is terrible. Because, which because I talked to you about this already. I know someone personally who went to a Diddy party, and he told me exactly how it was. So I'm just gonna say it here because it's really not that surprising or shocking, but he's basically like, I was with somebody who's a prominent figure. We saw everyone going to a certain area of the house, and we were like, hey, we want to go party over there. So they walked over there, they tried to get through, and the bodyguard was like, no, you ain't ready for that. And
you say you ain't ready for that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Multiple times. Then, so they got upset. The prominent dude that he was with was like, well, I'm so-and-so. And the dude's like, I don't care who you are.
You ain't ready
for that. So they had to turn around and walk away. So on the way out, they stop somebody who's on their way, and they tell him like, yo man, with the blah blah blah, we want to get back there. And the person told him, you're not ready for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's the second person telling them they're not ready. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's someone who's been back there and is going back there,
It is now on their way back there.
Right. But basically, allegedly, they were saying from the person that, everything's alleged, right? They were telling me that that's where, the freak nasty was going on. Because the people that I know were just like, shit, we want to get down. And then they were like, no.
Right. Like, this party's cool, but where's the weird shit?
They're like, no. You got to get down. And they were pretty much turned off by that and left it alone. So I say that to make this point that just because you're there at the party doesn't automatically make you guilty by association. It's that there's two separate things going on, you know, and unless you're looking for it, you know, and unless you're looking for it, if you're someone that's a prominent figure that's there just like, yo, I'm gonna show my face real quick, shake some hands, and get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we were invited and we went and hey, what's up, yo, networked real quick, it fucking bounced. Now all of a sudden we're involved in that just because we were there. Like, come on, dude. You know, some of these people don't know. You know, some of these people do know. I feel like the ones who are less vocal, and again, this is just my personal opinion, I feel the ones that are less vocal about the situation, who are around him a lot, are probably, you know, ones who probably partaked. You know, now I do know that there are some victims and also famous people that who were also victims are starting to come out and feel more safe to come out, but you know, we're not going to get the full list. That's not going to happen.
And it's the way I look at it too, man, is that like, look at anybody who's ever been facing charges like this. Did they flat out come and say, yeah, there was this happened, but no, they're not gonna admit guilt until they're proven guilty. You know, they're gonna make a
when they're
statement.
proven guilty, you know what I'm saying? Some of them still won't admit it.
Yeah, but as soon as you're accused of it, they're not gonna come out and say, oh no, I wasn't there. Like immediately, you know, they're gonna consult with their attorneys, make sure their publicists know what's going on, and coordinate it properly and make it a proper announcement at some point and say, look, all these allegations, all of this is hearsay, this is what's going on, and make an actual public statement that way. You know, I feel like it wouldn't be just like, oh, I'm gonna ring the bell, I'm gonna ring the bell, you know, like it has been.
Well, apparently, and here's the thing too, like I know that there have been some victims, this Playboy model specifically, she tried to keep her identity stricken from the record, you know, by being labeled as a Jane Doe, but the judge was like, nah, you gotta, I mean, that should be common sense, dude. Like, this is a serious issue that they're trying to tie to an even bigger network. So the BS on, I could see they gotta cut it out. It's like, look, dude, no, this is serious. But what I thought was interesting though, and also kind of weird, is that I was scrolling along, I believe Instagram or it was Facebook, through their reels on there, and a class action lawsuit against P. Diddy came up, and I actually took a screenshot of it, and it was literally like, were you abused? Like literally all those class actions that you see is like if you were abused by Diddy or you were
like the Cash App one they did recently, yeah.
Let us know, you know, click for more info, and I'm like,
that many people.
Like I feel like that's like, come on, dude.
That's like,
you know what I mean?
That's just opening the floodgate for people to jump on the bandwagon, like
and just create. And the thing is like, you honestly believe now? Again, according to the, you know, allegations, it could be possible because I believe like sex trafficking and human trafficking is a part of that.
There would be lots of people involved with that. Yes.
Yeah. So, and like out here in Vegas, it's a really big deal. And even when I was in the service, like we were constantly doing briefs on that stuff. So maybe that's why they have that, is because of those allegations talking about that. So, but I don't know. Either way, I thought it was kind of insane to see.
Yeah, that's to see something of that caliber. Like that would, you know, how many people you have to get together and form like the class action lawsuit like that. There's got to be a lot of people on board with it already.
Well, I know that there's over like 100 different people or something like that who have.
Yeah, and there seems to be more and more almost on a daily basis or weekly basis. You know.
Well, yeah.
There's someone else coming out and what about the people that don't want to talk about it, that just want to be compensated, to want to be, they just want closure on it and say, all right, well, cool, yeah, I'm being part of this and I'm gonna get compensated for it, cool. It's crazy to think about that, and we haven't had anything like this happen in the United States like this, right? You feel like
time,
in the world,
dude.
in a long time, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, because I mean the Epstein stuff is, even the Weinstein thing that went down. We've had a lot of crazy little cases over here, but I kind of get where you're getting at, though. It's like probably one of the top things that's gonna take maybe the century, because there's so many different things that are involved with this case, and it's kind of really like so old. Because I mean, the Tupac murder, they're talking about that there's connections with that, which this has always been alleged.
Back 20, 30 years, like we're going way back, bro.
And and it's crazy because I grew up in Vegas, and we always knew who actually did it. You know what I'm saying? The Orlando dude, we always kind of speculated that he was the one who did it. Now I know that they're saying now that they know he did it. But in the streets, you hear things in the city. And then, but the Diddy thing is what really shocked me over 10 years ago, because the original recording that Keefe D did, I heard it like in its purest form. You know what I'm saying? No tampered, nothing. Right. And it was actually, there was a video that I saw. I don't know if it was a Death Row video that they made, like one of those documentary kind of deals, music things.
Yeah.
But they were talking about it. I had the DVD. I wish I fucking could remember. But the original interrogation recording is in it. And Keefe D explains the whole thing about Zip, how he got some of the money, like when they were in Vegas, because they were originally coming to see the fight. And then
I think I know which documentary you're talking about.
Yeah, and well, they've taken, since the one that I'm telling you about came out back in probably I think 2008. It was like a long time ago, but they've taken that footage and put it in other documentaries, but they've obviously taken stuff out of it,
doctored it,
right, to put their own points in there. But the major points they left out is, well, some of them is how he specifically names Puff Daddy, because he was like, yo, Diddy came, he told us he would give us $1 million, allegedly, right? In the recording, he'd give us $1 million. Half of it was paid to another associate of theirs that was supposed to ensure they got paid, but it never happened. So then Zip actually came out, or whoever it was, and maybe said something about it. I can't remember. In this original documentary, there was another informant that had come out and said something. But either way, Keefe D was naming Diddy the entire time. And I'm thinking to myself, like, while I'm listening to this, I'm like, bro, if he's saying it, then it's got to be true, man, because because he basically said, he's like, we're going to the fight. Diddy threw that in there, and he's like, hey, if we see Pac, let's just knock out two birds with one stone. And they just so happened to find Pac. And the way that they found Pac is because the girls who pulled up beside him pointed him out in the crowd and was yelling at their car, and they were like 3 cars back. And he even explained how they went to club 772 or 702 that I think Suge owned it at the time. Anyways, Pac was always there. It was here in Vegas. And he's like, we drove by there first and they weren't there. So then we decided to hit the strip. And then long behold, these females pointed him out. Now, what they kept out of the original report when it first came out back in like 96 is the people that shot Pac and drove off were actually chased by security from Pac's crew, and they were shooting back at them on the strip, chasing them down. And
your security was? Yeah,
Pac's security. Then what happened is the police ended up pulling over their car, so they ended up getting away. The people who shot him, they pulled over Pac's security and something like that. But either way, it was it was too late. but they never originally reported any of that shit, dude. That's why it was like crazy, because
that's crazy. Yeah, because that's important information.
Yeah, man. And I mean, they left it out for the public. Now, I know why they did it, because back in the day, dude, Vegas was way different. Like, they wanted to make it more like a family fun environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
They didn't want to be televising like rappers are coming here and getting killed on the strip, because that's where everybody goes.
No, it's gonna kill their huge economy for the tourist industry.
Right. And like, remember,
nobody's gonna go there,
dude. And remember, this is back in 1996. So, and I see why they kept it hush for so long, but it was very unjust to them to do that, and which is also the reason why this case has remained open for so long. And you know, a lot of people weren't trying to help with some of the authorities, because some of the authorities here and over there, you know, there's a whole fucking, people can watch everything on it, but it's just wild that, because Keefy D, I did a video on YouTube about Keefy D getting arrested last year in Henderson, and I think within like the week he got out. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, he snitched. And I went in and I told my wife, I was like, watch, babe, in the next year, Puffy's gonna end up going down for something. And then it ended up going down, because when Keefy D came out, he hasn't said a word.
You said Keefy got out way too fast.
Right. No, yeah, because in Vegas, the only way you're gonna get out is if you telling, or like, you know, they legit don't have nothing to hold you with. But 9 times out of 10, you telling. And then another thing is too, is I believe the feds were involved in catching him, and he hasn't said a word since he got released. And just before he got locked up, he was all over everywhere. Vlad, freaking all these talking and everything.
Yeah, he was moving and grooving, doing his thing.
So that means that when the feds picked him up, they made him sign paperwork saying that you're not going to talk about this at all.
Yeah,
because if you do, we're going to fully prosecute you. Because the reason why he even admitted that shit on tape back in like 97 or I don't know, sometime in the 90s, was because they gave him immunity on another case. But what a lot of people are saying is that only gave him immunity in that case in California. It didn't give him any immunity here in Nevada. You know what I'm saying? So once they kind of figured that out, which I feel like the state probably already knew, but once they figured it out, that's when they decided to put the pressure on Keefy, you know, and then they arrested him. And they were even saying he got evidence from that shit.
The feds ain't gonna come and pick you up like that unless they have enough evidence first too. Right. Like they'll give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Right.
And then they'll come scoop you up and be like, all right, you ready to talk? Like
well, and he gave them all the evidence that they needed because he's on all these fucking interviews.
Yep.
And it's like, this dude is like supposed to be a street dude, or is a street dude, you know, in some sense. But it's like, telling everything.
Yep.
You can't even deny it.
I feel like the feds are the one agency that are going to do their research. They're gonna have something that's gonna make you give them what they want. Like
yeah, for real. And so, you know, we'll have to see how much more that unfolds. But again, that just getting back to the point, that was just to show that that's why this Diddy case, what you were saying, is probably going to be like the biggest thing in the world since, you know, I don't know, since the
Pablo Escobar.
I was gonna compare it to like when Prince Harry and his wife left the fucking kingdom and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, but either way, we'll see how it unfolds. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's basically the topics that we had discussed this week, dude. What do you got?
I know you had mentioned something about and it was like the other day, I think it was having a Kodak on Kai's stream.
Yep. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the Kodak and Kai Cenat live. Dude, yeah, I saw that footage. I saw what they were talking about.
I was actually watching it live, and I'm like, I was cringing a little bit. I was like, man, I mean, it's good to see he lost all that weight. He looks healthy. He doesn't look like sickly.
Right.
But the way that he was acting was just, it threw me off a little bit, man. I just, it didn't seem quite like he was all there.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not surprised. Because I've seen videos of like Kodak just like, I guess what you would call talking normally, and he has like that same energy, you know.
Okay.
I feel like he was showing out a little bit. One, because you got to think of the platform that he's on, man. He's on Kai's. Yeah. What has he got? Like over 50 million.
Yeah, he's the top creator on on Twitch. He's like, I think when that was going on, there was close to, if not more than 200,000 people watching just concurrently. Like, so and it was staying there. Like, yeah, there was millions of people that came by that stream, and it was awesome, man. Like, and I feel like that's the awesome part about seeing like people like Kai and all these other people that do IRL streams like this, starting to have these artists on their show. This is, I think I talked to you about it recently. I feel like this is where a lot of these artists are going to be going to market their new albums, their new singles, their collaborations. Right. It's not going to be TV interviews anymore. It's not going to be radio, shows. It's going to be
unless they got
shows.
millions.
It's gonna be on podcasts.
Yeah, unless they got like, they're well established and they find that audience, but not like what Kai's doing. And see, that's the thing, just like you said, 200,000 people were watching, millions of people came through that live. Every single one of them is talking about what happened. So take that, times that by 2, by 5, by 10, by 50. So Kodak Black knew what he was doing, man.
Yeah, man, and it's no different from.
He's been in the business for over a decade, I think. So.
Yeah, man. Look at what KSI did recently with his release. There were people online just like bashing his song, and he was acting all angry. He literally was acting. He was acting angry, and that was the point. He wanted that angry reaction. He realized that him getting angry was, even though it's bad publicity, it's bad publicity is good publicity. People are now talking about it. People are making remixes. People are doing all this, and if they want to keep their remixes up, they're gonna have to pay for samples. They're gonna have to pay for some sort of royalties to him. That man's making money right now, man.
Yep.
That was genius.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And this is no different,
Yeah, no,
people are talking about it.
Well, and this is the thing too. What did you think about the little TJ Aiden Ross situation?
I honestly don't even know a whole lot about it. So what's going on with that?
Right,
I didn't even really hear a whole lot about it.
I mean, obviously, I just found out when I was reading the article, looking for news and stuff. But apparently, he called Aiden Ross a racist, and that he was just basically using the platform to exploit, and make revenue off the culture, and really had no respect for it. You know what I mean?
I feel like that was given back to him a lot when he started doing it. When NLE Choppa showed up on his stream and didn't want to talk, didn't want to do nothing, just like, give me my money, I want to leave. That was them telling them, we don't respect you. Like, and I 100% agree. I don't know a whole lot about Aiden Ross aside from he was a huge gambler, and that's why he's a huge streamer on Kick or whatever it is now. And he's started having all these celebrities on. I caught on to that too. Once I saw Kai doing it, and then I saw Speed, and then I saw Speed doing it, and then I was like, oh, Aiden Ross is doing it now too. But he was like. He was the only white dude doing it, really. Like, Fousey was starting to get there. Now he's trying to dip his toes in too. I know.
Can't stand that fucking guy.
I know, man. I know. But it's crazy because all these streamers are now trying to get their toes into the music industry and all this stuff. Like Aisha Speed released a couple songs now. Kai and the Amp crew, the whole Amp crew with like Agent and all the other ones, they all did a whole cipher and they're starting to put out their own music and shit too. That's where these live streamers are starting to go. They see that they've been doing their stuff independently for God knows how long. They're running live streams. They're not running TV shows. Like Kai, on the level of production Kai Snat's on right now, he is running a TV show. Like, yeah, but
he's doing it right too. I feel like out of all of them, I feel like he's doing it right. And you know what? Here's the thing about Kai that I actually respect. Is he seems real genuine, man. Like even during the comedy skits, because I saw him he was on Could Have Been with Drewski.
Yep, with Drewski.
Yeah, and when like he was in character, you know, he ripped the cord out of the piano. It was like, get the fucking shit out of here, loud.
Bro,
Kai was like, yo, that shit was dope, man. Like that, and that told me, I'm like, even if it's a skit, if he feels genuine about it, like he'll say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's what I like about him too, man. And the thing is he's young. He's what, like 22? Yeah. Like he is still very young. And I feel like he still understands that he, you know, how much of, you know, presence he has in the world. Right. He's very well aware of it.
That it's important too. Yeah, with great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, I feel like he's definitely aware of that too.
Yeah, man, and he's gonna be genuine. He might laugh, he might go along with it for a bit, but I feel like he's the kind of guy that's gonna come up to you. Like if you guys were playing a basketball game and you lost, or he won, doesn't matter. He's gonna come up to you afterwards and say, "Hey, good game, man. Right. You hustled out there. Like, good job." You know, he's gonna acknowledge it.
Yeah, for real.
You know, the stuff I just saw, he had that NPC Miles Morales guy on there too, man, and he was talking about that, and he said, I'm gonna do something for him because I see this man hustling. I see him on live every day. I see you guys picking on him, and I see him, you know, kind of driving himself crazy because he really wants this. Yeah. This guy really wants, so I'm gonna give him an opportunity. So like,
and that's cool as shit. Yeah, that's real. That's super real, especially with this platform, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's
man,
crazy, man. It would be cool to like go on your shit or meet him.
Crazy thing is, I just emailed Kai today.
Nice, dude. You never know, man. All you can do is try.
I did, man. I'm trying to get my artist on there too, bro. And I wanna. I see all these other people. I don't see why someone else can't be on there. You see the Office drum guy. He's had so many people on his stream, man. He's the things he's doing with his platform are good. You know, I feel like they're good, well intended.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's always trying to help people out, it seems like. So, but yeah, dude. All right. So, you were telling me about Fauci earlier and how he's dipping his toe. Might as well talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, he announced he's been flying all over the place. He was in Australia. He was in Toronto, trying to get a hold of J. Cole, Drake, and get them to do a feature with him on this upcoming album. He's releasing his first album.
Did any of them contact him back?
I don't know. Actually, I didn't dive that far into it. I just started reading into this. And I follow him on Twitter, or X, and I started seeing him post all this stuff. And like today, I saw him post something like, you know, you got basically the name Fauci or Fusi, whatever you want to call it, is going to be dead. The new name you're going to see on my page is going to be my rap name. And I'm like, oh, so he's just ditching that character altogether. I mean, I feel like it's like a character that he's played online. It's no different from Mike playing Kanye East online. You know, it's a character that he plays. Right. He's tired of being that crash out, crazy, wilding guy, and he wants people to know who he really is. And he wants to make music.
And see, like, I remember seeing him even before he started doing the crash out shit. I remember the first time I came across his page was a long time ago. He had did a YouTube video on getting the tattoo hair, scalp shit. And I remember he was like, and I'm assuming, I don't know. I don't know if he kept it or whatever, but he said he had it done, and I was seeing the video, like they fucked it up, and he was like devastated because they fucked it up. So that was my first experience seeing him, and I was like, this dude's a fucking idiot. Like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I remember when that happened, and I don't know if he like went and got it fixed or just like got mad about it,
or never really got it, because I'm like, it should
money,
still
like,
be the same unless he got it laser removed, which is, I mean, he's bald still. So, but the way it looks is like, I felt like he did that shit for show and didn't actually get it done. You know what I mean?
I mean, you never know. It could have just been an act. And again, it's like fucking, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood, but it's not Hollywood. It's a man running his own show by himself, doing whatever the heck he wants.
It's like, just doing what people do on Instagram, just making up shit that fucking, you know, taking pictures in front of people's Ferraris and
avocado thing, where like, oh, was he really fat for all those 8 years, and then he lost all this weight? Is he still fat? Like, was that just an actor? Nobody knows. Yeah. He knows.
Yeah,
Mikado knows.
I hate that guy.
Alcy knows. Yusuf knows. Like,
I fucking can't stand that dude, man. But
we don't. We only see it from one side of the screen, you know?
Yeah. And that's why I was like, dude, it's like you have that much influence, and then, you know, because he has obviously tons of fucking viewers. I don't know, dude. Whatever. I mean, hey, good for him. I'm sure his fucking music is gonna be terrible, though.
The last thing I heard was it was a diss to Neon. You know who Neon is, right?
Yeah.
Another streamer. Yeah. It was a diss, and he was talking about wanting to fuck his girlfriend or something like that. And it was terrible. It was really bad. I'm not for him making more music after hearing that.
Yeah, no. I'm not for him making music, period. Fucking, I think he should just go back to doing his little YouTube videos. He's got an audience. Just fucking be happy. So. But shit, dude. Well, I think that we're just going ahead and wrap it up with that then, man. I appreciate you being here, dude. You know?
Yeah, brother. Anytime, you know.
Go on ahead and let them know where they can find you too, man.
You guys can find me on all my socials are Matty Flip TV. That's on every single social.
All right.
Yeah, I don't need anything else.
Simple enough. It'll be down below, so you can hit the link there. Anyways, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh yeah, of course, man. Of course. Anytime, dude. Anytime. Hopefully we'll be doing more of these. But I appreciate everybody tuning in to another episode of Smile Mah Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Half Deezy. Make sure you like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you can be reminded of all brand new videos just like these. Deuces.